Hey, Scott Jordan here for Jancast number 204 for Thursday, January 8th, 2026. That's right. We're in a new year. Before we get too far into 26, though, let's look back on 2025 because we had a lot going on in 25. And let me start out by some of the stats. So we published 19 Jancast episodes in 2025. We also celebrated a big show, which was show number 200. And the whole thing started 20 years ago. Hard to believe that, 2004 we started out. So a lot of changes in the show over 2025. Mark Warner, my co-host for most of those 20 years, retired. And that kind of gave me the opportunity to look at how we do the show, what new things can we utilize like AI to kind of change the format of the show, and also we also decided we were going to shorten the show a little bit. Sometimes we went as long as 45 minutes, and certainly worthwhile with a lot of those because we had guests on and subjects we really wanted to cover properly. So we're kind of changing the format of the show a little bit to kind of be able to get on the hot topics quickly. And then kind of move on. So here's some of the key things that we talked about in 2025 on the 19 episodes. Big one was about robots and using AI as far as them. But we also did multiple robotic shows in the past. But we've focused on the latest one was about the fact that you take your car in to get service, and they say you have to wait 2 to 3 weeks before they can see you because they don't have any mechanics. Well, they can produce a lot of automatic scrubbers pretty quickly, and who's going to repair them? So we talked about that quite a bit. Workforce pressures, there's a lot of stuff going on with immigration and all that. Two kind of parts that didn't make a whole lot of sense that ties in with regulatory. So we get workforce pressures where people are kind of being rounded up, illegal immigrants and all that. But then we have a conflicting thing where the EPA is now put in place that we have to produce the labels that are used on disinfectant products and other EPA products have to also contain Spanish directions for those that can't speak English. Meanwhile, the DOT is saying they want commercial drivers to be required to speak English. So, which is it? I don't know what's going on. So consolidation, what's going on with the mergers and acquisitions? We talked a lot about that with our review of the ISSA show, and you can certainly click on any of those. The last couple shows, we've talked a lot about the ISSA show. So go back, and if you haven't listened to them, check them out because we have some definite opinions on it. And that ties in with the mergers and acquisitions. It's like Bullen's actually seen a major growth in 2025 in our private label business. And we attribute that, after talking to our customers, is they don't want to be selling commodity items that has excuse me, but Windex. People can buy Windex everywhere. There's no comparison there. Maybe not the best item to probably point out, but there's a whole bunch of other items that once it's in one of these big silos, that's it. It's all about price. So private label is really coming back, which is nice. And since that's one of Bullen's specialties, always nice to hear that. So takeaways from 2025, tech needs proper service to matter, meaning you can't have all these robots with AI if you can't get them fixed. Labor pressure shapes into every decision, just like I just talked about with the EPA stuff. Which way is it going to go? We're going to have Spanish. You're not going to have Spanish. It's kind of ridiculous. And consolidation simplifies and also complicates at the same time. So let's see what my co-host, my AI co-host, has to say about Jancast and the history of the last 20 years, because I think she does a really good job of pointing out that Jancast is now a historical document since it's been 20 years. So thanks a lot for tuning in, viewing, listening, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, so when you think of the cleaning industry, what pops into your head? Probably mops, right? Buckets? Well, get ready to have that image completely scrubbed away. Today, we're going to dive into an industry that's actually at the forefront of robotics, AI, and even biotech. This one question from an industry podcast called Jancast, it just cuts right to the heart of a massive technological shift. You hear all this hype about autonomous floor scrubbers and AI vacuums, but with all this new tech, well, a whole new set of really complex problems comes along with it. So, how did we even get here? To a point where the janitorial and sanitation industry, or Jan-San as it's called, is seriously debating the logistics of a robot workforce. The future of clean is already here, and believe me, it's way more high-tech than you'd ever think. And just look at the kind of topics they're talking about today. We're talking about AI literally co-hosting podcasts to break down complex policy changes, probiotic cleaners that use beneficial bacteria, and even AI helping to develop new chemical formulas from the ground up. This is not your grandfather's cleaning closet, that's for sure. But here's the thing. This tech explosion, it didn't just happen overnight. To really get a handle on this transformation, we've got to go back 2 decades, back to a time before YouTube was even a thing. And our guide on this journey is actually a podcast that has been documenting the industry's evolution from the very, very beginning. It's turned into this incredible, unique historical record of a quiet revolution. That guide is Jancast. It launched way back in 2004, making it the original podcast for cleaning professionals. It started out as just a passion project and basically became an accidental historian for a field that was changing at lightning speed. So let's put this in perspective. Their journey kicked off in 2004 with just microphones and a recorder. No video, because platforms like YouTube literally didn't exist yet. In their very first year, they won a major innovation award. Then they jumped to video in 2013, and now they're celebrating over 200 episodes. They've been there for the whole ride. And what's so cool is that by looking at the topics Jancast has covered over the years, you can literally map out the growing complexity of the entire industry. It's this fascinating barometer of change. Just look at where they started. One of their earliest surviving episodes, number 2, was pretty straightforward. The hosts were just talking about the big industry trade show. Simple, foundational stuff. Okay, now fast forward almost 200 episodes. Look at the questions they're tackling now. All of a sudden, the conversation has shifted from trade shows to the direct impact of national immigration policy on the cleaning workforce. I mean, that is a huge, huge leap in complexity. And it doesn't stop there. They're also digging into the potential fallout from funding cuts at major government agencies like the CDC and the EPA. The Jansen industry is no longer just about cleaning floors. These folks are on the front lines of public health and national policy. So what's the single biggest driver behind all this recent change? You guessed it, artificial intelligence. And AI isn't just a topic of conversation on the podcast. It has become a tool that they and the whole industry are using in pretty much every part of the business. It's pretty wild. First, they literally use an AI co-host right on the show to help explain dense topics. Then, they use text-to-video AI to create marketing materials. But here's where it gets really interesting. They're using AI to help formulate new products like a foaming degreaser. And to top it all off, they use it as a strategist to find new uses for those products. It's a complete end-to-end integration. So you're probably wondering, how on earth does an AI become a chemist, right? Well, think of it like a master chef who has memorized every single recipe and ingredient in the world. By analyzing these massive data sets on chemical properties, it can simulate millions of recipes in seconds, predicting which combinations are going to work best. This just drastically speeds up research and development, letting companies find greener, more effective formulas without all the endless trial and error in a lab. So what does this whole journey, from a simple audio show about trade shows to an AI-powered innovation hub, what does it all really tell us? Well, the takeaway is actually much bigger than just the cleaning industry. It's a story of what you could call invisible innovation. See, so much of our focus is on flashy consumer tech, but some of the most profound technological leaps are happening in these foundational industries that we completely take for granted. They are quietly building the future right under our noses. And that leaves us with a final thought. We've seen how robotics, biotech, and AI have totally transformed the world of sanitation. It really makes you wonder what other essential industries, from agriculture to logistics to waste management, are having their own high-tech revolution, just out of sight. What do you think they're going to look like in another 20 years?